Empowerment. We absolutely need it. And not just because of the financial benefits it brings to both the individual as well as their families, but there are two other very good reasons for empowerment. But there are two big problems with the current concept of empowerment as well. First, it is really over exaggerated. And second, the way or the reasons propelling the current empowerment wave are wrong. I would say the fundamental question over here is, what do we want to be the building block of a society? Should it be an individual or should it be a family? Feminist approach is an individual oriented society. My approach is family oriented. The problem with feminist approach is it will lead to a very lonely individual based society. Empowerment will take a lot more away from every individual than it will give back to them. It would be a very lonely society. Now let me explain these in a bit detail. Firstly, why do we need empowerment other than the fact that it gives you financial freedom? The first biggest reason is it allows your intellectual development. You are not caught in a cocoon inside your house. You're going out, meeting different people of a wide array of people. You're being exposed to a wide array of ideas. You are not a frog of a pond anymore. Your intellect develops. And that not only lifts your own reasoning abilities and your own comprehension, but it also lifts the collective intellect of the society. No woman wants to be married to a dumb man, and no man wants to be married to a dumb woman. Empowerment brings the benefit of enlightenment as well. The more people you interact with, your social interaction improves. Your knowledge about the world improves, which is a very good reason. The second good reason for empowerment is having both men and women working together in workforce actually improves the quality of dialogue. Men-based society was a very rude society, was a very aggressive society. Having women in there mellows that society down. Of course, there's a danger that we might go down the path of degradation and women might become as bad as men were. That will happen if we continue following feminists, because that's the kind of women feminism is creating. But we don't need to go down that way. I'm not saying that we need to improve our conversation and language. There should be no artificial push to improve the dialogue. It should come naturally. You should feel on your own that we have a good reason to improve the dialogue in our society. It should not be because of political correctness and other bullshit like that. No. Unless you yourself feel a reason to do something, you don't feel the real motivation. The quality is not there in your attempt. So if you want to improve your society, that reason has to come from within your own heart, from your own conscience, from your own reasoning. Having both men and women creates that opportunity. And if we want to move forward, if we want to evolve as a society, we need to improve our dialogue, not in an artificial way, but over a period of time, it will improve on its own, provided we keep heading in the right direction. So that's another benefit of empowerment. Now, what are the problems with empowerment currently? What do I mean by empowerment is an exaggerated concept? Think of it. Every man was not a rocket scientist. Every man was not a doctor or an engineer. Similarly, every woman is not going to be a doctor or a rocket scientist or an engineer. In fact, having both sexes compete with each other for the same jobs will not only mean that a lot fewer of them will get those opportunities. But of course, if we'll increase the opportunities, the salaries will decrease. It's the natural effect of having more labor, more workforce available. But that's an issue which is separate to empowerment issue. The only thing is that the way empowerment is projected is like every person, or more specifically from feminist point of view, every woman will become a rocket scientist. It just creates a batch of daydreamers who don't listen to reason. So the thing with empowerment is it gives you an opportunity. It does not give you your dream. How good you are in getting your dream depends on your efforts, your abilities, and then your talents. However, it does give you an opportunity. That is the important aspect of empowerment. Everything else is just a sales pitch, I would say. The second thing is, and this it sort of links with the exaggeration point as well, why I say that feminist point of view is driving a society towards individualism. The feminist approach is that once a woman is empowered, she doesn't need a man anymore. That's a lie. That's a myth. And I'm saying this from both sexes' perspective. Doesn't matter how financially independent you are, a man would always need a woman, and a woman would always need a man. Sexual needs aside, there are many other reasons why I say so. Firstly, it's one thing that you are independent, but just because you are independent doesn't mean that you are happy. If you are lonely, and which is what will happen if everybody was to think I don't need anyone, and you will not learn how to develop relationships, how to maintain relationships, how to actually value relationships, because if you think I don't need you, you won't care for that person. And that's an automatic psychological effect. The current market pitch develops, and it has been developing, which is why you see more breaking marriages these days, because people don't value the other person anymore. The value of that other person is lost in empowerment, and empowerment is creating lonely middle age and even lonelier old ages. It is giving you less in the way of money and taking more away from you in the form of family and happiness. In fact, if, as I already said, the salaries go down when there is more labor, it's not even giving you enough money. Both sexes are working to make ends meet together as a family. That's the situation today for most households. And that's what empowerment has given you. But what has it taken away from you? You don't know how to value each other anymore. There's more conflict. There's less effort to compromise, to come together. There are more splits happening. You're heading towards a lonelier future. Which is why I say the question is, do you want an individual-based society which will be very lonely, or do you want a family-based society? Because family is a unit which fits or fixes an individual into the society. What are a bunch of individuals? Just running water. They'll flow anywhere in any direction. Society will not be stable. What is a family? It's a plant. It's a plant which is planted somewhere and growing there. That's the difference between flowing water or a deep-rooted plant. Do you see the difference there? That's why I say that we need to actually stop and analyze where we want to direct our empowerment wave. So think, people, think.